Welcome to the Besides Your On podcast. We have a bit of a weird moment on the podcast.
It's the most famous guest we've ever had.
The most famous guest, and really hard to get in touch with, I felt. Didn't take too long for you to get back to me, so it was pretty awesome.
Probably wasn't him, it was probably his secretary.
Right, we'll get into that. We'll talk about the secretary just in a few minutes. Our guest, you want to introduce yourself?
Ho! Well, I'm Santa Claus, boys. And don't worry, I check every letter that comes to me. It's the best way to get in contact.
So do you do that all yourself rather than sort of pass it on to somebody else?
Well, I read every single letter that comes from all the boys and girls. However, in recent times I've had videos and phone calls in lots of different ways.
Awesome.
Of course, we sent a physical letter because that's the way that we know to get in touch with
I feel like
Santa
it's the
Claus.
only real way to get in touch with you. Like, do you handle emails and stuff like that?
Oh, yes, we've got some of the best Wi-Fi up in the North Pole. It's BT.
It probably would be BT.
Yes.
It's definitely not Virgin. Richard Branson's definitely on the naughty list this year, boys.
Just a question. Why would it be British Telecom in the North Pole?
A special licence just for Santa.
Oh, right.
That's how we've got BT in the North Pole.
Brilliant.
There you go. But at least we've learned something about the...
So now next year, if we want to get you back on, we could just send an email or phone call or whatever.
All your letters will come to Santa's, boys. Whether it's a letter or a phone call, I get them all.
Fantastic. So we have a few questions from kids,
Before
adults...
we get into that, how was your trip here? I mean, it must have took a wee bit of a while.
Oh no, boys. The reindeer know this route very well. They're often in Fife. So don't worry, you could see them at the deer centre sometimes. So it was quite a quick and easy journey. Also, there's not as much EasyJet flights flying about at this time of year now because of COVID. So it was all good.
Makes perfect sense. Makes absolutely perfect sense to me.
Completely.
Do you use all the reindeer at the same time, or are they on shifts?
Well, we have to use all of them because it's their combined magic together that pulls the sleigh, the toys and myself, and occasionally an elf if we're busy.
Makes sense.
Ready to get into some questions?
We are now. I knew that again how we got here.
Right, so we have a question here from Rachel Morrison, a good friend of ours. What's the best gift... What's the best gift you've ever been given?
Oh, that's a great question there, Rachel, and I know her very well. She's on Santa's good list this year. I'm not sure about her brothers. They'll have to do more to help their mum, but they could still make it in time for Christmas. Well, the best present I get is every year when you go around all the houses and the boys and girls leave out all their cookies and mince pies and milk and sometimes hot cocoa. I'm partial to some iron brew as well when I'm in Scotland. And occasionally a whiskey. I know some parents are flying put out a wee whiskey, but no, that's the best present. And also all the happiness that all the boys and girls get when they open their presents on Christmas morning. That, and I got a Lamborghini once for Tom Cruise, but that's a different story.
There you go. Actually, a big question. What did you think about the new Iron Brew compared to the old Iron Brew?
There was a time where the executives in Iron Brew were on the naughty list, I have to say, especially when they got rid of the Iron Brew bars a good few years ago.
Yes, I totally agree with you.
I totally agree with you, Santa.
Absolutely,
I could not agree more.
Absolutely.
However, as the non-official drink of Scotland, then they've got to be on the good list and you've got to like it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So we have a question here from Donna Boyd. How do you respond to claims you are not real?
Well, that's silly. If I wasn't real, I couldn't be doing this podcast.
You would be here. Come on, Donna.
I mean, I've now met you. I now know that you're real.
Yes.
You're the real Christopher Kringle, and I've seen the birth certificate. I've seen the real beard. It's just a silly question for Big Donna there.
Crazy questions.
If she could be here right now, and she can't because of COVID restrictions, she would understand that Santa is a very real person.
Definitely.
And she wouldn't be asking such silly questions. That's my view.
Well, there's no such thing as a silly question, and I know why people sometimes don't believe in Santa. But I must say, how else does your presents get there on Christmas morning? Your mum, dad, or your carers, or whoever it is that looks after you can't be keeping all those presents under a bed. There's just no room.
Stay here. Ask him if his reindeer will be 2 metres apart.
Well, don't worry about that because they're all in a bubble. So because they've been in a bubble together, they're allowed to be together. Also, I don't think the virus can spread between animals, so the reindeer are absolutely fine.
We interviewed a zookeeper, was it a couple of months ago?
A couple of months ago it would be, yeah.
And he informed us that, I might be wrong, but I think one of his monkeys got COVID, so they had to isolate the monkey because it's a primate virus, so monkeys can get COVID. So now, as soon as we got told that, we instantly envisioned wee monkeys running about with wee masks on.
Straight away. It was
And
almost...
having to sanitise their hands, and it was just a moment of joy for me in my head.
So wee tiny mask, wee tiny monkey. Oh,
But it's not monkeys you use, it's reindeer, so you're okay.
Yes, definitely. There are no monkeys at the North Pole. Well, there's a couple of naughty little elves that can be little monkeys, but there's no real ones.
How about your elves? Are they following procedure as well? They all keep in sort of a couple of metre distance as well?
Oh yes, the elves have been very good this year. They've had all their PPE and they're washing their hands and they're singing Happy Birthday, which is sometimes confusing when it's somebody's actual birthday. They get all excited. But no, they've been following the restrictions and the government guidance, so which is obviously the government of Lapland, which is myself. And I would have got some advice from Boris, but he's not handling it very well.
He's not doing too fantastically right now, Santa. He's not doing great.
Well, I'm assuming that because you're following the regulations very well, and you've got the power of Christmas and magic behind you, that there wouldn't be too many cases of COVID up in the North Pole.
No, there's been no cases of COVID up at the North Pole. But that's because we've followed all the guidance and we've made sure that we're 2 metres apart and we've been wearing our masks and washing our hands as often as we possibly can. So there's been no cases. We've been very well. A bit like New Zealand.
Awesome. Last question here from Stu. Ever thought about making hand sanitizer instead of toys?
Oh well, Santa's Workshop did help a little when there was a shortage away back in March and April this year. So because the elves can make anything and everything, you see. So there is nothing that the elves can't do. So we had to do our bit and make as much hand sanitizer as we possibly can. However, that didn't stop us from making all the toys and meeting our deadlines. So there'll be no disappointed children on Christmas morning. Don't worry about that.
Awesome.
Did you throw in a few hand sanitizers for each child?
Oh, there might be, but that would be a bit of a magical secret if I told you what every child was getting now.
Got a question here from Kellyanne Garrick. My son Kai said he would ask why Santa never shaves his beard.
Well, there's an awful lot of snow up at the North Pole, so I've got a very small chin, Kai. And up in the North Pole there's a lot of snow, so it's to keep my chin and my cheeks nice and warm. And also I'd look like my brother Derek if I didn't have the beard, so we can't be having that.
I was just thinking about your small chin there. What size of chin does Derek have? Does he like the medium-sized chin of the family, or?
No, he's an even smaller chin than me.
Oh my God.
Very odd-looking man is Derek.
So you're the big chin in the family?
Oh yes, it's a normal-sized chin for normal humans, but among magical creatures it's considered small.
There you go.
It's very sad to see that there's a self-insecurity even in magical creatures like Mr. Kringle here.
Have you not seen Shrek?
Good point.
That's literally a film about Shrek's depression.
That's a good point. I'll shut up.
And Lord Farquaad's definitely overcompensating for something.
Yes, full on. Yes, fully.
So is he on the naughty list then?
Oh, I think he had an awful time in the dragon's tummy, to be fair to Lord Farquaad, so I think he might get a present because I think he's done his dues there.
My daughter Emily would like to ask, this is from Kerry Grant, my daughter Emily would like to ask how old Santa is.
I'm as old as Christmas, Emily. As long as Christmas has been here, there's been an old Saint Nick giving presents to all the world. However, if you ask me, I think I only look 21 though.
Another question as well, which is a great one, because I remember when I was wee putting stuff out for you for Christmas.
And it was very well received. I enjoyed it every year.
Thank you. No problem. How much cookies, mince pies do you eat, and how much milk do you drink on Christmas Eve?
Well, now that's a fascinating question. The reason that we need so much cookies and mince pies and milk and all these other good little treats is because that's what helps fuel some of the magic. So for every house that gives Santa and my reindeer a wee carrot out, that goes to fuel the magic which gets us to the next house, and so on and so forth. So all these cookies and treats and sweets and that helps get me round the world.
How about the whiskies? You must get a lot of whiskey. Does that help in any way?
My wife says it doesn't, but I think it does.
I think it definitely does. It definitely does for sure. In some way it will help.
I think you need to watch with the level of alcohol that you're consuming if you're going to be driving.
Oh,
he's no driving though, I don't think.
You're not
sorry,
driving?
I'm jumping in.
They defend Kringle Kins.
Oh, I know, I'm sorry, man.
It's alright. I've got magical abilities, so it's just the taste, boys. It's just the taste.
That's a fantastic gift to have. Mm-hmm. I wish I had that, because the taste of some alcohols is delicious, but the effects are...
Do you still get the same taste of alcohol? Because I hate whiskies, can't drink them. Does the taste disappear, or did you get does it taste like a candy cane or something like that? That's a good point, aye.
No, it tastes just as normal, and occasionally in some places, and like Kennaway or Governing Glasgow, I've even been known to have a wee bottle of Buckfast left out for me, so don't worry about that, boys.
That definitely warms your heart as
that
well.
Was us.
Drinking that, so.
That's what we leave it.
Probably us.
A wee miniature for justminiatures.co.uk. That's what we like to leave it for a Santa treat.
There's a question from Paul Bogey. How has COVID affected your present distribution, and do you have to wear a mask as well?
Oh, well, like I said, COVID doesn't really transmit among magical creatures, and we've taken all the procedures and followed all the guidance, so it's not to worry. All their presents are sterilised before they leave the North Pole, and when they're delivered, they're safe for all the kids and some adults to open on Christmas morning. So don't worry, it's just part of our normal procedure anyway.
Awesome. And I also thought because you were so high in the air that you're not going to really affect kids too much.
Oh, no. And like I said, the magic protects Santa. It makes Santa a key worker.
Got a question here from Daniel Sheridan. This is a pretty sad one, actually, to be fair. Why did he not stop the other reindeer from bullying Rudolph? Seeing as he knows who's been naughty and who's been nice every year, he must have known it was happening. It was right under his nose.
Oh, well, that was a very sad time, but sometimes we need to work things out amongst each other. And I thought it was very important that the reindeers worked out for themselves about how to be friends. So that's what they did, and they saw what I saw in Rudolph, which was a very special and essential reindeer. And as it says in the song, they all love him and play with him now. And that's the main point, and it's always about being true to yourself.
It's good to be anti-bullying.
It is.
And I think the reindeers give a good story for why a bully can rehabilitate and properly get back to the community of reindeer and just be happy and nice to each other.
That's it. We've got a question here from Valky, who's I think a question from your side of the...
Yes, this is a Discord friend.
A Discord question. When does Santa start his naughty or nice list?
The naughty and nice list starts on the 26th of December, so all you boys and girls, it's not just about behaving for mum and dad in the last month of the year, it's a all year round thing. You've got to make sure you're behaving and being good to your friends and your family.
We've got the final question here.
Final question, and I'm very sad to have this final question because I've really enjoyed my time speaking to you, Santa.
Definitely.
It's been a very interesting experience.
Mm-hmm. The final question is from Victoria Schwa. Who is Krampus?
Oh, now, that's a great question. Well, in countries such as Germany and Austria, they have a man called Krampus. Now, what Krampus does is when boys and girls have been naughty, instead of being visited by myself, they're visited by Krampus. However, I've got to say, all the boys and girls in Germany, because I know the podcast that these guys runs big in Germany and Eastern Europe,
It certainly
is that there are no bad boys and girls in Austria and Germany, so Krampus very, very rarely has to come out. However, in Scotland and Britain and America, well, I just give out coal to bad boys and girls. We very much keep it in-house. However, because of the size of the world, it's sometimes good to bring outside agencies in, and that's where Krampus fits in.
awesome.
However, we're not talking about privatising Christmas. Don't worry about that.
Well,
That's good to hear. That's
that
good
is
to
always
hear.
good to hear, definitely.
I love a nice socialist Christmas.
Definitely,
my favourite.
Definitely. I love the fact we went into politics right at the end there, just the end. It's fantastic. It's pretty good. So thank you again, Santa, for coming in. Much appreciated. Taking a few milliseconds out of your time period. Fun. Thank you very much.
No problem, boys. And you have a very Merry Christmas, and a very Merry Christmas to all your listeners. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas.